As teenagers, we have either been in love, we have either been in a relationship, we have had a big fat crush on someone else, we had our first love, and it is very common in our teenage years to experience our first heartbreak, our first betrayal, pain, sadness, happiness. There's gonna be a lot of time where you're crying with your friends, where you're crying alone in your house listening to Taylor Swift songs. Being the teenager that we all are, it's very possible to turn to some unhealthy sources in the desperate attempt to move on, and sometimes we might even go extreme to the point where we completely numb our feelings. Hi guys, my name is Casey and welcome back to my channel. We all know that time doesn't heal anything, of course, but I have to say that time is also very essential in the process of healing. As you know, in this type of society is the move on fast type of society, but I'm actually very scared that when you try to move on fast like that, you might actually start to numb your feeling instead of really dealing with it, and you might start to feel like you're not improving at all when you start to spiral down back into that hole again. I know how hard it is to undo all that loving that you once did on this person, because you cared for that person. That person was very special for you. They were your loved ones before. They were your happiness. So I know it's not actually easy, and no one should make it as it is easy. Feelings like love are very, very complex, and it takes time to undo that loving that you had on someone else, as much as it took time to love that person too. In order to actually heal, you need to dress your wounds properly. And in order to dress your wounds properly, it might sting a little, or sometimes a lot. It depends on how much wound you had, how much trauma you had with that person, or how much energy you put into that person, or how much love that you had for that person. But trust me, it is so much better to feel something, like at least the sting, instead of not feeling anything, or instead of feeling numb, not only for this person but also for the future people to come. Try to really sit with this feeling and try to feel and cry. It's okay, you can cry in your rooms, listen to Taylor Swift songs, grieve, because this person meant so much to you. So don't try to run away from it. Take all the time you need in the world, but be brave. What people think healing is and what people think moving on is one step after another, but actually the real moving on is all the steps at once. Everything is happening simultaneously, and somehow it sucks, but you just had to learn how to deal with all of these. Moving on is not a straight line process. Moving on is actually like a spiral type of process. Sometimes it could even feel like you're not making any progress, but actually when it comes to moving on, sometimes the real progress starts with not going back. What you can do is you can ask yourself these type of questions. So number one, how does that person make you feel? It didn't matter how that person used to make you feel, but how does that person makes you feel now? Number second, what did they do? And the most important question that you could ask yourself is, what is that person contributing to your life? I had the same struggle with trying to move on, and I asked one of my friends at school, and then she asked me whether that person is contributing anything into my life, and that she also say something like, all I see is you getting drained and you getting very confused, and I don't see anything else. So when she asked me if that person contributed anything into my life, I paused and think like for a very, very long time, and in that time nothing ever came up. That's how I knew that it's probably not worth it. A lot of people say like, when I'm in love with that person, when I love someone, the whole world turns colorful and everything. Like, that person makes me feel like I'm alive, or that person makes me feel butterflies in my stomach. It's not that person that makes you feel something like that. It's not that person that makes you find colors in the life. It is your love for them that makes you feel like the world is colorful. It is your love for them that makes you feel special. It is your love for them that gets you through the toughest days ever. You made that person so special with your own energy. So when that person leaves, I mean, it's no wonder that you feel so empty in your heart. Like, that's normal, because how do you expect to feel whole after devoting your heart and your soul, your time, your energy all to that one person, and then that person just walks away with it? And it is your responsibility to heal yourself now. You should never blame yourself for allowing yourself to fall in love, because love is a privilege that not many people can afford, and you could afford that, so it should be a blessing for you. I just want you to pause and think that, like, whether if that was your love for them that made you feel so happy in life. And if that was true, if you could love someone so wholeheartedly, so wholesomely like that, that also means that you can love yourself. Love is a feeling, but loving is a choice. Although some people try to get into another relationship so that they could move on from their ex, I want you to get into the relationship with yourself so that you could try to move on from your ex whatever. And when you are so focused on yourself, on your goals, or even turn to anime. That's how I turned to Gojo Satoru, which is the best decision I have ever done. You can turn to books, turn to movies, actors. Use some kind of distraction. Not real people though, because you know, these people also have feelings and you could be unhealed, you could have traumas and it could affect them. Here's one secret. Our body tends to remember these people a lot more than our brain actually does. So even when you tell yourself that you're moving on, or you tell yourself that you have moved on, and when that person literally walks into the room, all your eyes were just on that person, suddenly you don't know what you're doing anymore. That person still appears in your vision and everyone just fades away. Sometimes it's habitual. It's not always your feelings. Sometimes your body just remembers that person and it's habitual. It fades away with time, and it is so common, but that doesn't mean that you have not moved on yet. Maybe you haven't fully moved on, but that habitual action has nothing to do with your move on process. Sometimes the universe doesn't give you what you want, and it gives you what you need. Sometimes the people that we like, our types and everything, sometimes it's not actually our type, but it's something that is rooted from our deep traumas. Although things might seem very rocky right now and things might be like progressing, digressing, progressing, digressing, everything's gonna be okay one day, and all of these trials and errors are just preparing you to be the right person so that you could also meet your right one. And until then, you will feel a lot of things like this. But again, I want you to keep in mind that universe gives us what we need, not what we want. What you actually need is a lot of self-care, alone time, spend time with your friends, keep yourself preoccupied. I want you to know that we all have our own right people waiting for us at the end of the day. Maybe not right now. We're still young, we're only teenagers, so maybe in the future. And true love actually exists. And all of these people, when you see your right one, you're gonna thank God or whatever that you didn't end up with all these people from your past. This is it for the video. I love you guys so much, and thank you so much for watching till the end. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!